Don't mess up the mood. Yeah, I work too hard for it. No, I need to beat it before you mess up the mood. Yeah, I work too hard for it. Yeah. Don't mess up the
back,
mood.
people.
Welcome everybody once again to another episode. Episode what?
42?
Episode 42.
I think
And for
it's
this one, we
42.
have a very special guest.
Oh.
A very nice person. You want to
She
introduce
brought us
yourself?
drinks.
I know. She brought me
You
iced
did.
coffee.
Thank you, Tatum.
Yeah.
Bring me back to life. Hi Tatum.
Of
How are you?
course. Hi guys.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
I
This
think
will be
it's a
fun.
little overdue.
I know, right?
Yeah, you know how
It's been a
scheduling
minute.
goes in
Yeah.
this world.
It gets kind of
It is
tricky
42,
sometimes,
by the
but
way.
thank you for making the time and thank you for being here.
Thank you guys.
You want to introduce yourself? Tell the people. what you
Yeah, my name's Tatum. I am from Reno, Tahoe. I'm 23 and I do a few different creative things. Lately, I've been getting a lot more into modeling. I also do some art projects and draw. That's what I went to school for down here.
do. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fun. I know we met through modeling.
Yes.
Would you say that's like your main thing right now?
Yeah, I mean, yes. With the art is I've loved art my whole life. That's why I studied it in school, because I was like, I'm gonna be here for 4 years, so I gotta pick something I like. And I was making a lot of art like last summer before I started working, but that kind of ebbs and flows. So I've definitely been getting a lot more into the modeling within probably like the past year or so. It's really taken off a little bit more, and I've met a lot more people, so that's been really, really fun. And I feel like Reno has a super cool community of creative people, so that's been cool to like learn more about, meet everybody.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we've been going back and forth. Like, we just realized that it's such a good community.
Yeah.
Because we had a guy from San Francisco, and they don't have that over there. You know, you would
Yeah.
think that they would, but they don't.
It would like kind of threw me off guard too, because like it's San Fran, like it's a very artsy city,
Right.
and you would think the community is like a little bit more like tight knit, but maybe it's like the competitiveness out there. Like there's so many.
I think that's like the thing about Reno though, is it's super tight knit and everybody is like so kind and enthusiastic
Supportive of
and
each other.
supportive of each other.
Yeah,
You gotta love that.
I think so too. Which I think is rare for like, you know, I don't really know that many people from other places. Like I know people in like LA and like Washington, and some are like, yeah, no, like maybe it just depends on who you are around with too. 'Cause,
That's
you
true.
know, not everyone is super supportive, but for the most part,
I feel like once you kind of get into that creative world down here, you like realize that too. Like, I mean, before, I was born here, but I wasn't really like, you know, doing all that stuff my whole life. So once I like met everybody and, you know, I'd do one thing and then meet more people, I just started realizing like, whoa, there's like this whole thing going on down here.
So
which
when
is
did
really cool.
when did you start getting that interest for art in general? Was it something that you grew up with, or?
Yeah, art, I don't really remember ever like not liking to draw, or I loved it. I mean, when I was little, I was always like drawing pictures, and I would want like my dad to draw with me, and I was just always, I have like so many old drawings from when I was little. So that was kind of like a lifelong thing, and that's why when I got to school and I didn't really know what I wanted to study, I took one career exploration course that just sort of reiterated like I should be studying something that I actually enjoy and have interest in, because I've never had a strict plan for like what I want to do with my life. I'm just more of a go with the flow. So that was really cool to get to have that experience of studying art and taking all those classes and like creating more work through college. But yeah, that's been a lifelong interest, definitely.
Yeah, that's interesting. Sometimes people don't have it growing up. Like I didn't have it. You know, growing up, I was never creative. I was never into it. I'm kind of surprised that I turned out a
it kind of
photographer.
clicked for you
yeah.
later on, type of thing.
But it happens, you know.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I've heard it from both sides. Like I've heard from people who are like, oh, ever since I was a kid, I was like super into this, and then a lot of times they stop it, which is kind of sad. You know, like you grow up really into it, and then you stop when you get to like adult age, and then there's the reverse, like him, where it's like I was never like that, and then when I was an adult, it kind of came out out of
And then
nowhere.
get super into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think like everyone has it deep down, you know, it's just maybe some people are afraid to like go for it.
Pursue it, right?
Yeah.
Would you, did that ever come through your mind?
I mean, the thing is, like I said, I was never like, oh, like I'm going to do this, and it's more just been a like journey of figuring it out as I go and really liking these things. And like I said, college was cool because it kept me making art, because sometimes I'll stop and then I won't make anything for a while. But like with the modeling, that was sort of a just little by little, like meeting people, snowball kind of thing. It wasn't just like like I want to do this now.
Do you remember your first
shoot?
shoot?
Just happened. So I was trying to think about that before I came in, and I think so I lived in Tahoe for a while. I went to high school up there, and I worked up there like over the summers and stuff. And so my boss's family, one of the ladies made wedding dresses, and so I got to do a wedding expo. They had like a Lake Tahoe wedding expo every year for I don't know how many years, but a few years up there. And so I ended up doing that through them. And I think that was like kind of the first time I just started meeting people. And I feel like every time I met somebody, like then I would meet somebody else, or if I did something, you know.
Right.
And that was like the networking part. And it was like kind of just, you know, here and there and fun. And then, like I said, within the last year, I feel like I've met so many more people, and now I'm doing it a lot more. So it's...
You can't fall in love with it as you want.
It's fun, yeah. Yeah, it's cool, and I'm just trying to keep a like really open mind to just kind of see where it leads me.
You just did a cool one last weekend, right?
Which
like the one with multiple outfits at this one location they were
we did a shoot at, was it the Loving Cup?
Yeah.
That was
how was
super
that? You want
fun.
to tell us what?
Yeah, that was really cool. Sometimes I'll just post, and because, you know, we're always scheduling is crazy, right?
Yeah.
You guys know that. But sometimes I'll just post and like try to set things up with people that I've been planning to shoot with, but we haven't done it yet. So I'll just post something, and then people will sometimes reach out, and then we'll try to schedule it. But Jeremy had reached out, and he had set the whole thing up for shooting at the Loving Cup, like having that venue. And then we just went with the 70s theme, and I worked with Shannon for makeup a lot. So it was just really fun and something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something we don't get to do a lot, right? Just set up a style shoot.
Like a style shoot.
Because with us, we're always just doing last minute things.
So
I feel like that's kind of my thing now, because I never get to like plan stuff because I'm always so busy. So like whatever comes in last minute, I just gonna do.
Is it like styled shoots, or do you miss, because so like Shannon, for example, the makeup artist, a lot of the work she does is like bridal and stuff, so she has a really great time getting to do creative shoots where she does like makeup that's completely different, bold or colorful or whatever it is. It's just totally different than like a more natural look for weddings. Do you guys miss like more creative stuff? Or
yeah, I kind of wish I got to do more of that, but then sometimes you gotta look at it like it's not always paid too,
right?
So like you have to look, you know,
like it's your job.
Yeah, so you have to make sure you cover before you do stuff like that.
I mean, that's why you chose to.
Basically,
I think for me it was like before I was full time, I used to do it a lot more. Like I was more willing to do it, like instead of doing like instead of saving my weekends for like when people can pay you or like, you know, do a paid shoot, I would just be like, oh, I can't because I have like a creative type of shoot, like just to shoot with someone.
Yeah.
But then that was because I had a job and stuff, so I wasn't really concerned on like making money and stuff. But then once I think you go full time, especially in the beginning, like it's kind of not worth it to not be taking a lot of work, because you want to like make your first year be really, really good to lead into like the next one. Right. You know, and then once I think you're like in the 2-year range, it's like, okay, I'm pretty settled in, like maybe I can make time. But then I think just for me and him, like, I mean, I'm very thankful that we're so busy, because it's like, you know, it's better to be busy than not, especially after last year. Yeah. But like, I think if we just weren't as busy, then we would have more time. But it's not a bad thing that we can't, because we're busy.
Right. I mean, and you're doing it as your profession, like that's your.
And well, I think now that like winter's pretty close.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say.
That's what I'm gonna try to focus on.
I was doing a bunch of collabs during the winter, and that's kind of it kind of got me going in this way, but then it's like it gets to the point where it's too much. You know what? You don't want to be doing too much of
No, I think it's like if it's just a hobby for you and you just want to do it to shoot with people and like have fun or whatever, like just to play around, then I'm sure you can make all the time you want for it. Oh, yeah. But then there's two people in that mindset of like, okay, I just like to shoot, I don't want to make money out of it, you know? Like, I've met photographers who are like, I don't want this to be my job. I just enjoy it. Yeah. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, just because you shoot doesn't mean you have to be a full-time photographer. Right. Like, maybe you just don't want it to turn into that. But, like, for me and for him, I think we both had that tunnel vision of, like, eventually we want to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, I mean, now we're here. But it's, like, I think during winter when it slows down, it's very more possible to, like, shoot a little more, because that's kind of like our slower season. You know what I mean? Like, you're done with weddings. That's when we met,
when we did that shoot in the snow.
We did. Yeah, it was very cold. Pretty
simple. And well, I think, like, even for him, he has the space now here to do something inside. Yes. And then you can always get studios like Studio 47, like where we went and stuff like that. Yeah. And then plan more like styled things that are inside or outside, depending on how much it snows.
How many shoots are you planning on average, like per week, per month?
It just kind of depends. I work Tuesdays through Fridays, and sometimes I will do a shoot like after work because I get off fairly early since I start so early. I work at a bakery. But typically, like, weekends, I try to at least do, usually I do like probably one shoot every weekend, and then sometimes some during the week. I just try to like keep some boundaries. Like, I work and then the shooting is like another, you know, commitment, and takes a lot of time to plan and everything. And then I'm definitely get overwhelmed easily. So I need time that's just for
you're like, give me a break.
Life and all of the other things. But yeah, I mean, lately I've been doing a fair amount, probably 1 to 2 a week, maybe a month. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. It just depends really on, you know, scheduling and everything.
Yeah.
Are you oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Oh, my bad. We like we're both about to ask something at the same time.
All the questions.
No, you're good. God, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna ask you, are you like currently like charging people if they reach out to you, or are you just kind of collabing still?
So that is an interesting thing because I'm sort of like in the middle right now. Obviously, like, it's nice to be able to get paid for that stuff, and it's been a learning process just figuring out, like, you know, how much, when, where, like, when's the right time to do that. So it's both. Sometimes they're collaborations with other artists and we're just doing it for fun with each other. Sometimes it will be like a paid gig if it's for, you know, I don't know, like a clothing company or something like that. So I feel like I'm maybe starting to get closer to be able to kind of work with that, but I've tried to be super open-minded about it. I have fun regardless, but it's definitely cool.
Have you done any paid shoots already?
I've done a few. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, so
I think there's like, at least from other models I've spoken to, like, that's one of their like kind of harder transitions to get into, because they're like, oh, I mean, I'm so used to like just shooting with people. I feel like they're gonna feel weird if I start to charge them. But then it's like, we went through that. Like, did you shoot for free at first? Yeah, same here. Like, I used to shoot for free all the time, and then like, you almost get like a guilt, like, oh, I'm gonna start charging, but then it's like you realize how much more time and effort it starts to take up. And I think other photographers, like, I've heard from models, you know, that they get like offended because they give them a rate, and I'm like, but you're the one reaching out, you know what I mean?
So there's like so much that kind of goes into it, and I feel like it's definitely been a process of kind of just like learning the field and all of those things too, and then just kind of figuring out like when it feels right to, you know, try to maybe charge for it or all of those things. But it definitely is tricky, and it's been a long time of just, I mean, you know, doing the shoots and getting comfortable with that and building a portfolio. And now it's like, is somebody reaching out to you and they want you to model their clothing, or did you guys, you know, decide together, oh, we're gonna just do this for fun and it's cool and all of those things. But it's definitely tricky. I had to kind of think about it a lot and learn.
Do you know who Antonella is?
I have heard of her, but I haven't met, you know, it's funny, I was talking, I think, with Michelangelo about it. I haven't actually met a lot of the other models, but I've met a lot of the photographers. And he was saying, yeah, he's like, I've met a lot of the models, but not a whole lot of any of the photographers. So
yeah,
I have heard of her.
Michael's great, by the way.
I love him.
Yeah, he's really
fantastic.
Yeah, we need to get him in here too.
You should.
I hope
you
you
could
have him and
I reached
Sean,
out to him
too.
once.
You could have both of them.
If
I'm
he's
gonna,
listening,
I'm gonna
he
have to
should come.
message him. Yeah,
I
he's a
did.
little
This
shy.
is your
so-
sign,
He was,
Michelangelo, if you're listening.
I know he told me that he was busy with work, but like
He has been
this
kind of
was
like
back
on a
in
busy
February,
spree.
so
I think lately, from his stories, it seems like he is kind of like caught up. But
maybe we should
I'll reach out to him again too, because dude, I love his stuff. He's
talented. Isn't he
very
one of the
unique.
first ones too that you started shooting with?
Yeah, so when I started shooting down here in Reno, yeah, he was one of the first shoots I did, and it was like in the summer, and we went to San Rafael, and it was so fun and beautiful, and he was just kind of like who are you? Like, where, what?
Where you been, right?
yeah.
But that was cool, and that was another kind of little like foot in the door to start meeting more people and all of that. But yeah, he's great.
Piggyback on the Antonella thing, she had because I know she does like modeling gigs, like paid wise and stuff, especially ever since she like went down to San Diego. But I remember she posted this thing on her story once where it was like the paid or no paid like chart.
Yeah.
And it was like a very good depiction of when you should pay and when you shouldn't. And it was like, 2 questions. Did photographer reach out to model? Yes. Okay. Expect to pay. Did vice versa, right?
Right.
Did 2 agree to just collab? No payment. And it was like, it would point these little arrows.
I've
to
seen that. I think that same triangle.
And
trying to explain
I try
it a
to
little
think
bit more.
about that like a lot, because I like if I were to reach out to someone in specific, like, hey, I want to do this, I wouldn't be like offended if they're like, oh, it's this much, because just like I have to get paid, they should too,
Right.
Like, especially if there's someone experienced and they do it. Like we know the difference between shooting with like a model versus someone who just has never gotten their picture taken.
Which is an interesting perspective on your guys' end too, you know, like hearing all of that and kind of what it's like for you and that stuff. And yeah, I think I really just the whole thing's been a process and a learning process and, meeting more people. And then I feel like I said, every time I would do something with someone, like I'd meet somebody else in the networking and then kind of like where that leaves you and maybe who's reaching out to you now and what it's for. But yeah, I have seen the little triangle that's sort of trying to clarify.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple, really, if you think about it.
It's just kind of like
it's common sense. Like, you just have to realize that some people are gonna want to charge because that's what they do, and they're really good at it. So like,
I think like if you are like a couple years in and you've done a lot of things, like, and you have experience, then it's okay to charge.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to. And have you ever sold any of your artwork? Like, do you sell your artwork?
The summer before, like after I finished college and then before I started working, I was drawing a lot, and I started getting into like drawing, like doing pet portraits for people, and I sold a few different pieces of art that way. But I mean, it takes a lot of time, and so like I said, right now I haven't been making as much stuff. Sometimes it just kind of goes in phases, but I had just sort of started to maybe think about that. Which is also interesting because it's like selling your art is sort of, I don't know, we're all pretty hard on ourselves and it's kind of a vulnerable thing. So I was sort of starting to get into that, but I definitely, see what happens in the future once I start getting more into drawing again and making stuff. But
do you ever feel like that when you're selling your prints?
Yeah, that's why I don't like to charge a lot.
Dude, oh my God, because I just made this, right? And I'm like, how much should I sell this for? And even at the price that I set them, I'm like, fuck, it just kind of feels like, in a way, it's almost like me being like, it's not worth that much,
I feel like that's a hard part of the creative art world in general, right?
I feel like I used to definitely sell prints and canvases a lot more, like especially before I was like full-time, because I shot more landscape than anything.
Okay, yeah.
And I was always like selling things for what I thought was a fair price, like where obviously you get your money back and a little bit back.
Right.
But it wasn't like I'm going to go spend $20 to make something and sell it for like $300,
right?
You know, which I understand people who do that because maybe they just value their work that much where they're like here, but I think it just depends, you know, like I understand photographers who don't shoot portraits, right? And so they rely on like prints and canvases to sell, or like photo books or whatever they're making. Like they got to make something back to like make a living, you know, which I know some people like that, who don't really shoot what we do, like nothing with people. It's just, hey guys, I take a ton of landscape photos and I sell prints. Like I have a print shop, and I can understand
niche of
the pricing there,
right?
You know what I mean? But like as someone who shoots portraits and I make money through that, I'm like, well, this is just kind of like you
kind of just want to make your money
and then
back,
that's it.
and then some. Just
yeah,
a little
like
bit,
just
right?
a little bit. Yeah. Like if, you know, they always say when you are pricing something that you should profit at least like 60-70% of it, whatever, right? For me, it's like, if I just get half back, I'm cool with that. Yeah. Like if it costs me $5 and I sell it for like $12, like, okay, you know what I mean? Just because I'm not really concerned about making a lot of money from it. But then, you know, as an artist, you should think of it like this is your work. You know what I mean? Like not anyone's going to go replicate that the way that you did. But I feel you, man. I struggle with that. You didn't see like the Big Sur ones I made? It was like one for $1, two for $15, and people are like, "That's it?" I was like, "Yeah." And
wait,
like,
what? One for $1?
No, sorry, one for $10.
Oh, and then two for 15.
One for $10, and then two for 15.
Was it just regular prints?
Yeah, just little 8x10s. And people were like, "Really? That's it for two?" I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, okay."
I'll get one.
Yeah, and then they're all like, "Give me the two then." I'm like, "All right." And I sold a lot of them. Like I was like, "Oh, this is cool," but to me, it was always like, it's just nice to think they're gonna go like hang it up or something. Yeah. And it's like in someone's home. Yeah. And I always ask people like, "Yo, send me a picture when you hang it up."
Like that's the kind of
it's cool to just
part.
see it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I'm very weird about that.
No, yeah, I'm very harsh on myself sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but
for me, it's like, you don't have to pay me that much money.
But it's hard, right? That's like one thing that's just kind of like a tricky area to sort of figure out, like what feels good to you, like what feels fair for the amount of work you put into it, like what's going to make you happy. Is it seeing that it's up in somebody's house, or I mean all of those things? And there's not really like a black and white like, oh, this is what you should charge for this, you know?
No, it's
there's
just
probably a lot
you
of
charge whatever
out there,
you want to,
what feels good for you.
But then I think it also depends a lot on your situation, and like, is this your income, you know? Because if it is, then you should charge more. Yeah, you know. And not to say that if it isn't, you can't. Like, you value it how you want, but I just think we all have a very different outlook on it and how we feel about it. And
definitely, yeah, like with the modeling, that's been sort of an interesting thing to try to figure out, because it's just like, you know, what feels fair, and then like respectful, and just trying to figure out when and how. But I just, it's sort of a process too, just sort of figuring it out.
I think it might depend on the art form too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, for us, you know, I'm not gonna like downgrade a photographer. Like, if you go take a picture of a landscape and you edit it yourself and make it look how you want, and then, you know, you put it on a website to make it into a canvas or a print, like, you did half the work and then the other company or whatever did the other half. But when you like draw or you paint, it's like you get the supplies and you spend a lot of time.
So long.
Like a lot of time. Yeah. So that's why I understand.
Are you showing them?
Like, I understand.
By the way, these are for sale.
Hit me up.
You can leave a tip.
He's plugging himself in on his own podcast.
Just saying.
Right there,
like, I think yeah, that's why, like, when I've bought like drawings or but then again, it's like weird, because like I've even asked my friend Michael, who was on here, and he draws a lot, but he makes prints of his drawings, so obviously he doesn't sell it as much as the original, right? Because you're kind of copying it for multiple copies. But then I also don't really mind spending money on a drawing print, because that was still a lot of work to get it done that way anyways.
Somebody drew it.
And then if you get an original, it's like, okay, this is like the OG, like he sat there for hours to make it. So in the flesh, I don't know, man. It's weird, dude. It just depends on the art. You know?
Yeah. What are some of the other things? I know you say modeling is fun and stuff, but is there any downsides to it aside from like, you know, the money stuff?
And I don't even really like look at that as a downside at all. These have just been like passions that have come about, and so I've had a lot of fun. I've met so many cool people. So like I said, I feel like I'm really just trying to kind of see where things take me and what comes from it, and just kind of go with the flow in that realm. Yeah. And I, you know, like right now I work at a little bakery, and I've always loved that scene, and that's working really well for me right now. And then I'm doing like this modeling stuff that's a passion, and you know, if I want to create artwork, but I don't have like, you know, a set like, oh, I want this to happen from this. I just think sometimes cool things happen as you go, and kind of, you know, see what comes into fruition with it.
Know, looking at things.
Yeah.
Not too many expectations, because then when you have expectations, if they don't, you know, come to fruition, then
the more expectations, the more disappointment.
Yeah,
just
for real. No, seriously.
But it is true.
I mean, and I think it just depends on the person too. Like some people are like, just grow up and they're like, I want to do this, and they know they want to do that, and they go and do it. Or, you know, people change their minds. But yeah, for me, I just never have been like, oh, I'm going to go do this one thing, which honestly is like, I do find it exciting too, though, because it just is like, I don't know, like who knows what I'll end up doing, you know, whether, you know, it's traveling somewhere or what comes about through meeting people down here, or the things you get into, or work, or any of that stuff. Yeah, I try to kind of just go with the flow.
Do you prefer like outside shoots or studio?
I like both. Yeah, I think they're both cool for different reasons. They've both been really fun, and they usually, I mean, they are pretty different. But yeah, I don't think there's like one or the other that I like more. I haven't really even like compared them, honestly. And usually it just depends on like the concept too. So they've both been kind of fun.
I mean, you're good at both. Let me tell you that.
Do you guys?
You're good with your posts. Let me compliment you with that.
That's how we met, right?
Yeah. We did outside.
And then we bonded over our mutual love of popcorn, and then he stopped eating popcorn.
Like,
after we talked about it. Fun fact about Tatum: I eat so much stove popped popcorn. So good.
Do you guys really like popcorn though?
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of funny, dude, because I low-key like really enjoy popcorn too. Maybe not as much as you guys, but I eat it
I used
at
to
least
have
like
it for
once
dinner
a week.
every night.
Popcorn?
I actually eat it for dinner all the time, but only like
And
I
it was
make
kinda
it on the
crazy.
stove. I don't like.
Oh no, I just get the bag.
Oh, like not the.
But we were like,
oh.
it was funny.
It was funny because I was like,
no way.
yeah, I eat popcorn every day, and then she's like, really?
Have you ever had like the popcorn with Hot Cheetos on top?
What?
Try it
I
out.
never had that.
Okay, people always look at me when they do that, but there are movie theaters that even offer that now. Like it became a thing.
Popcorn with Hot Cheetos on the top.
You know, like when you go to a movie theater, you can put jalapenos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think maybe since like 4th grade, I just randomly one day was like, oh, let's see how this is. So you just, you know, you make a popcorn, put it in a bowl, and you just throw Hot Cheetos on top, mix it, and you kind of eat the Hot Cheetos as you're eating the popcorn. And I think it's
You don't seem
delicious.
like the type of person that likes Hot Cheetos.
No, I don't. but I will say, when we used to go to the movies when we were little, my mom would eat the movie popcorn with hot tamales. And so, like the candy, have you had this?
Oh,
like
yeah,
the cinnamon
yeah.
one? Sort of similar thing though, and it actually is so good. Like then I couldn't eat movie popcorn like without the hot tamales.
Well, people always do M&Ms. Have you ever had it like that?
I think
with the
my
chocolate
roommate in
M&Ms?
college used
People
to do
do that
that
a lot,
sometimes.
right?
Yeah, sometimes it sounds weird, but it's actually not. It's not
I
bad.
first got introduced to that when I went to the movies with my girlfriend, and she was like, "Get some M&Ms." I'm like, "Okay," and we like sit down and watch the movie, dude. And she's like, I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "You've never had M&M with popcorns?" I'm like, and I had my little Hot Cheeto bag. I'm like, "No, I have it with Hot Cheetos."
He starts dumping the Hot Cheetos in the M&M
and
popcorn.
She's like, "No, try it with M&M. It's not bad. It's not bad."
No.
But she likes like to keep it healthier too, right? Like you like
Like
to,
the lower.
It's so good. You make it just like on the stove. I usually use avocado oil, and then I'll put like some Parmesan cheese or seasoned salt or something on
so
top.
she goes like the homemade.
Oh, it's
healthy
so
route.
good
That
and I
sounds-
will eat it for dinner. Like, I mean, and I'm so happy. Like,
I see. I feel like I would eat that for dinner more than like a microwave.
No, I don't
Because
like
the ones
them.
I have, they're like the lower calorie ones, but they don't even taste like anything. I just like to eat them. I put some
Just the
salsa
texture or
Valentina on them
something?
and stuff.
Dude,
But he
Yeah.
stopped eating it once we talked about it.
Why?
I did, yeah.
Why'd
I
you
don't
stop?
know. Why'd you stop?
I don't know. I got my own set of issues. I'm telling you. What is getting back into what you do and stuff? What are some of the other things that you could have done with your degree? Like, what are some of the things that you could have gone into?
You mean like done with my degree post college?
Yeah.
Like, again, I never went into school like studying art with the intention of like I'm going to use this for this. I feel like, at least for me, it was like so much more about the overall experience and just making sure that I was studying something I had genuine interest in. And I feel like in general, I mean, you know, a lot of people end up doing something completely different than what they studied. And I do feel like just that time of your life and that experience is a lot bigger than maybe the subject. And again, though, there are people that are like, I want to be a doctor, and that's a pretty specific route. But for me, it was just like, what am I interested in? This is an experience in general. Like, I went abroad one semester, which was wildly out of my comfort
I
zone.
know she went to Spain.
I did, yeah.
Where'd you go?
And I went to San Sebastian.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah, and I didn't really have like
Like I
I'm going to use this for this kind of thing. Yeah.
Right on.
And people would, I mean, especially like being an art major, you know, it was always like, oh, well, what are you going to do with that? And it was just like sort of a, like, really, guys, like sort of a weird question.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why do you have to have what, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think I wanted to pursue an art major when I was in high school too. And that was the question everybody would ask me. Parents, friends, you know, art majors don't ever do anything. Like, you're just, what are you gonna do with it? And I'm like, you know, there's different lanes, man. Like, something can come up.
Yeah,
know?
and yeah.
Like, I have a friend who got an art major and is a director at the art museum.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
There are fields
opportunities
related to art too. I mean,
like, I think people see it as like,
what the hell?
Sorry,
Coming in
damn,
half.
son. I might have sat on there a little too hard.
Almost broken,
Like,
huh?
I think people hear art major and they're like, oh, like, you're gonna sell artwork for a living? I'm like,
Yeah,
that
you're
doesn't
going to be
necess-
like an artist on the street.
like, are you gonna do galleries, like, stuff like that? Which is very possible, but
right.
there's different lanes. That doesn't mean you have to go sell your stuff, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And I feel like a lot of fields are like artistic in ways, whether it's design or, you know, interior design or photography or actually making art and selling it, or it's digital, or I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of creative fields. And again, like I didn't think I needed to have like this is what I'm going to do with it.
Do you, did you like that overall experience though? Was it what you expected?
Yeah, I like, looking back, I would choose it again a million times. Like, I'm super happy. And I've talked to people, like other people in college that are kind of like struggling, and they're like, I don't like what I'm studying. Like, I want to study this. And I feel like, you know, I don't know everybody's story, but at least it just seems like something so worth it to just study something you like, you know, something that you have genuine interest in, because I think that's time just that's a lot more well spent. And I think I read one essay in that exploration course that was like talking all about this and like making those choices. And kind of at the end it said, you know, like, if this was kind of your last day and you look like graduation and that was like your last day, would you look back and be like, wow, I'm glad I spent that 4 years doing what I just did? Or would you change it, you know, if that was it and you were done after college? And that was kind of like eye-opening too. Like, this, you know, this is 4 years of my life. I want to pick something that I at least, you know, have a genuine interest in.
I'm sure it also helps with like networking, right? Like, even through college, you get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah. A lot of people that are in your kind of same community. And I'm still friends with a lot of those people now. And they're doing super cool artsy stuff. Like one of my friends, Amaya, you guys should check her out. She's got like her own little art show this weekend. And she's like so
nice.
dedicated to like, she spends so much time creating this super cool art. So you do meet a lot of people that are in your realm too. And that was cool. But everybody's different. It's not like there's a cookie cutter right or wrong way to do any of that. And if you have, you know, an idea or you want to do something, that's really cool too. That's not how it was for me.
And going abroad, it was part of your college experience?
Yeah, so I minored in journalism. I had to have a minor for school, and then that was so interesting because it was like never something I ever thought I would do. Like I am just an extreme homebody, like a pretty anxious person, like. And it was just like, no way, you know, that sounds really cool, but I can't do that. And then I think somebody came into one of my Spanish classes one day and was talking about it. And I was like, oh, that's like pretty cool. I'm like, well, there was just some part of me that was like, just do it. Like, just go do it. And it was sort of just like an intuition thing. And it scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh my gosh. But I just kept kind of like going through the steps. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm ever going to regret doing this. Like I knew it was probably going to be super hard just because of the kind of person I am. And it was, but never would I regret like having an experience like that. So sometimes just like pushing yourself to do those things too. And it was super hard, but yeah, that's kind of how that happened.
If you like Spain, what the hell?
I know, right?
I want to go back so bad. Like it's been 2 years, which seems crazy, and I just would love to visit, just to go there.
How long were you out there for?
It was 1 semester.
Oh,
it was my first semester
like
of senior
months,
year.
5
like
months?
3.5. Yeah, 3.5 months ish.
Nice.
That's one of the things that I just want to do.
I remember my
once
friends
in my
like,
life, just want to go live somewhere else.
You realize you're in a very good position to do that, right?
I mean,
Are you talking like out of the country?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Never mind.
Yeah. And not like,
I thought you meant like in another state.
No. Another state would be, I mean, not easy. I don't.
But
think,
you can bounce back and forth.
Just go to like another country and then just be there for a while. That's all I want to do.
I mean, what's a while to you? Like 6 months?
6 months is a good point. Maybe
yeah, that's
3
a little
months
harder.
in one country.
That's a little harder to do than like
go to
2,
another
3
country
months.
for 3 months. You know.
I mean, it's
nice.
harder, but it's easier for like people in our position. Because like, let's say you save up for a while and you're like, yo, I'm out for 6 months.
Oh, and then you can go, but then you can maybe still work.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like you can try to
Potentially.
work out there, but if not, it's like you save up enough to where you get by for 6 months and then you just come back and go back.
Do
to
you
it.
think that the photographers in other countries do well, or do you think it's
I
not
think
as
they
big
do.
as it is here?
No, I think.
I
I mean,
depending
I
on
feel
the
like,
country.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like,
I mean,
well,
US.
but it just depends on like where too. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of places in Europe that are like.
Have you ever spoken to photographers in other countries about it?
no.
I have a friend in Canada and one in Mexico. They were both photographers.
I mean, the ones in Mexico, I mean, I know a lot of them, but I mean, at least not where I'm from, because where I'm from is like a small town and stuff. So,
Well, I have a friend back
maybe like in the bigger
like,
cities.
over there in like Culiacan and Sinaloa that does it, and he does pretty well. But he does a lot of commercial stuff, so maybe that's why.
Right.
Like he doesn't shoot weddings and things like that. It's like
You're
more
kind of
like-
interested in like traveling too for photography a lot, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
Do you want to do like? Would you do that like internationally, or is it more like West Coast, or would
I
you
feel
want to
like
go across the country?
my ideal like set
Yeah.
photography career would be to like be an international traveling wedding photographer.
International,
wedding,
huh?
That's cool.
Like wedding or elopement, whichever of the two. Like one of my biggest inspirations for that is this photographer.
What's his
He
name?
lives in Iceland. It's like Firsty Photo, like FURSTY, and he literally does that. Like he just travels to a country 2 times a month and he shoots elopements and weddings. And this dude's just like
All
all
over
over
the
the
place.
globe.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I'm sure it has its stress and everything,
Right.
you know, but
Everything
like, dude,
does.
I can't imagine being like in Europe one day and then I'm like
And you're
in
like-
China and then I'm in Mexico, then I'm in like Australia and then Canada and then the US shooting a wedding each month. Like, holy crap, dude. Like that would be like, oh my God.
Do
like,
It
it.
sounds
I
like,
mean, I have to connect myself like he did or something,
But
because
look,
that's crazy.
Baby steps.
It sounds like a unattainable thing, but when
it
you really
is.
think about it, it really is not. Like, you have your social media page.
Yeah.
All you have to do is like start connecting with maybe people that already do it,
And like just making steps and like establishing
Like
yourself as like, I travel and I'm willing to travel wherever.
I think like
Which
baby step is like you go to a different state first.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And then you can maybe do like
Dude,
another country.
I'm gonna be going out of state.
I know
Yeah.
you're going on a trip,
Oh, you're going to
right?
Arizona.
Yes. So
Are you?
Arizona
Wait, oh,
for an
did you
elopement.
decide where? Oh, is this different?
No, this is, I think, the same one.
But that was supposed to be for your time off. Aren't you gonna go somewhere for like?
Oh yeah, you're
no,
trying
no,
to
no.
go out of just to go. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no,
you're going to
that's gonna be
Arizona though
different.
for a
No. I'm
job.
going in November for an elopement to Arizona.
Oh.
So that should be fun.
Well, that's a good month to be in
And I
Arizona.
also got reached out to do a possible wedding in Colorado.
Dude, Colorado's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
There's.
excited,
I mean,
dude.
depending on where they're getting married, but I'm
Uh-huh.
sure if it's a wedding, they're gonna pick a pretty place.
Uh-huh.
But there's and Arizona too. Arizona's very
Oh, yeah.
underrated for its looks. Like,
And
you know,
it's
it's
gonna be
more
an
deserty,
elopement.
but
And
Oh, it's
they're gonna be
beautiful, though.
doing a
oh, bro, if
helicopter
it's
ride
an
too.
elopement, you can just.
They're gonna be doing a helicopter ride too.
That's so sick.
So we're just gonna fly somewhere where,
spots?
like, yeah.
That's
oh my
so
god!
sick.
Wait, this is the
When is
Arizona
this?
one?
Yes.
Oh
in
my
November.
god!
When is that?
November.
When in November?
The first week.
That's
Oh,
so sick, bro.
nice.
That's
I'm
tight. I'm
excited
stoked
for
to
that.
see
That's
what you
exciting.
do.
Yeah, I'm
Are you
excited
doing just
too.
photos?
Photo and I think a little bit of video.
Like a
too.
little bit?
Yeah,
They're gonna
like a
be
little
like
small-
probably in the helicopter.
Like a clip?
Yeah, like a
But
small
the
clip.
main thing is photo?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stoked to see what you
That's
got, bro.
cool.
That's
That
tight.
is cool.
So that's what I'm saying, man. The opportunities come up.
Yeah.
I know you went to fucking, where was it?
Oregon?
Oregon?
That is still to date probably my favorite
your
wedding I've
favorites?
ever done, man. Like, it's crazy how well those pictures have aged, I think. Like, because they were almost 3 years ago. And I look back at them, I'm like, this looks like something I would have done now. Like the editing and just overall feel of it. So maybe that's kind of started for me, I guess. But like, because other times I see weddings before that one and I'm like, oh, these are way different than like how I edit now and all that. That's when I started getting rid of that like faded look. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
The little tone curve or whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, I need to do more Mormon weddings, bro. Their temples are gorgeous. Like, holy crap. Those big white marble buildings.
That's cool.
Like in Utah.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is they were about to do that in Hawaii.
No way.
Yeah. I was about to go to Hawaii with them to do it at a
Damn
Mormon
it.
temple in Hawaii. I was like,
Oh.
but then due to like traveling things for family, the next place they could get was Oregon, which I mean, I was not disappointed.
Yeah,
It was my
no.
first time going to that state in general. And dude, those temples are just like, oh my God, man. Like, I envy like Utah photographers because they do weddings in those every single time. Like, there's like 7
The
temples
really
in
beautiful
Utah.
architecture is so cool too.
Like, these look like castles just made out of white marble, bro. Like,
yeah.
it's insane. I follow a photographer from Utah who she like all her weddings, like they just have these temples like all over the
really
place.
cool.
And it's not like it's just a temple in the middle of nowhere. Like, you're talking like they put them in a very good spot where you can shoot around it too, you know, like not just, oh, it's just the temple, like whatever.
Yeah.
They have like everything else on the bottom too. And it's just, I need to move to Utah, bro. That's what I need to do.
Maybe that's the place where I need to. Have you ever thought about moving out of here, Reno?
I don't have any really plans to move. No, like I said, I'm a big homebody, and all of my family is close, and that's super important to me. And I like being close to everyone. And I love Reno, and I love Tahoe. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? But no plans like anytime soon. Really, I'd love to travel some more though. But no plans to really like move somewhere else. What about you guys?
I would move to Oregon or Washington.
Okay, 2 states I would like to visit.
Would I move?
Would you move?
It's
you
hard
said
though,
you wanted
'cause-
to live
Yeah,
somewhere
but
in
not
a
like
different country.
not like forever, you know.
Like just to try it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so overall, you guys
I think
like
I think I need
Reno?
to go to Oregon first, and then I could make.
I think I would move to
I can
Oregon
make a
for like
choice.
half a year first to see,
feel like
and
I'll-
then if I like it, I would
Okay.
stay. Like, I wouldn't move like, yo, I'm staying here forever. I would go to like try it out first,
Probably
and then
toe
make
in
my
the water a
decision.
little
But
bit.
then I also really like it here. It's
Yeah.
grown on me a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, in high school I was like, dude, I'm getting the hell out of Reno, and then
Where did you go to high school?
Damani Ranch.
Okay.
But it was like I just wanted to get out of here. But
a super small school in Tahoe in South Lake called Wattel. Yeah.
Oh, South Lake.
Yeah. Our
How was it
graduating
growing up
class
over there?
was maybe 29 kids on a good day.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
On a good day.
That sounds like my
Very
hometown
small.
in Mexico.
I'm sure. Yeah.
When I graduated,
Yeah,
we were like 10, bro.
10
Yeah, it was like 10 of us.
10 or 15.
from
yeah.
La Prepa.
And that was all of us, right?
Wow. Yeah, my graduating class in 2020 was like 370 kids.
That was literally bigger than my entire school.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is funny. Yeah.
How was it growing up over there in Tahoe?
I adore Tahoe, and I liked the it was very tight knit too, and the small school worked well for me. So I just love it up there. It's definitely home too.
You're very family oriented, huh?
Yes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I'm very close with like both my parents, and my mom lives up in Tahoe, and my dad's down here, and my siblings are close too. So
Did they
it'd be
get
hard
affected
to
by the
leave
fires?
just to. What was that?
Did they get affected by
My
the
mom
fires
did
or-
have to evacuate. Yeah, and my stepdad up there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they had to leave, but
Crazy.
everything worked out okay in terms of that was just scary, and it will be super devastating to drive.
Yeah,
through all
I'm
of
supposed to
that.
drive through there like next weekend, and I'm not excited to see
Are you
I
able to do it
know.
now? Are you able to drive?
Yeah, it's clear.
I don't
Yeah.
know if they've actually opened up
Highway 50.
50 yet. I still, some of it might be closed. I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, they're like reopening stuff in Tahoe again. I just went up there yesterday to see my mom, but
Oh, like South Lake is opening up again, right?
yeah, I'm not sure about the road yet.
Yeah,
but
maybe
it's gonna
not
be,
the road yet.
It's gonna be weird. To
I
drive
mean,
through
if I
that.
don't take 50, I'm gonna have to go around, which is more like through Carson, like Gardnerville area. I know that, but yeah, it's gonna suck to see how much. I mean, even when I went to Lake Almanor like 2 weeks ago, it was, you know how it was
Yeah,
burning up there.
yeah.
It was
Oh, did you
the
go?
the lake itself wasn't affected. Like around
Uh-huh.
the lake there wasn't much, but leading into the lake,
All
it
of
was
it's-
just super barren and burned out. I'm like, man, that sucks,
fucking
dude.
sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Like normally you're just pine trees all over the place, and
Yeah.
it was just completely black. Like there's still ash, like in the lake,
yeah,
like from the water not reaching all the way up. Like all the ground was just ash from like
it's
the
so
fires.
sad.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But, hey man, it happens.
Yeah, take care of the planet, dude.
Global warming, bro. People don't want to listen. There's
They
gonna be
should.
someone in like
They
global
should.
warming's not real. All right, bro. All right, whatever you
Glad we got
say.
that out of the
bro.
way. Yeah.
We're like, cool. You're probably a flat earther too, but whatever.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm not excited about the winter coming up.
I kind of am.
Why you don't like?
Like
what do
even
you-
yesterday that it felt a little chilly out.
Oh, you don't like the cold.
I was like, nah, this ain't
Dude, I'm
it.
the opposite. I love it when it's
I
cold.
like both. Well, I mean, if it's like this summer was gnarly because I feel like it was pretty much like 100 and
Yeah,
something
this
degrees the
summer
whole
was-
time, which
yeah.
is just too hot. Like that's not enjoyable. But I definitely like all the seasons. So you like the snow?
Yeah, like not necessarily the snow. Like
Just the
for
cold.
me, fall weather's ideal.
Okay.
Like you're talking like high 40s, high 50s at the most. You know, like between that like 45 to 60 is like where you can wear like a beanie and a hoodie, but not
So you're still
be like
comfortable.
freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're not freezing, but you're not hot at the same time.
Yeah.
Like earlier in the bro, you're gonna break
Every
that chair, my
It
guy.
happens every time. It's a little... What's this, bro?
Like this morning, I went to give my brother a ride to school, and you know they get to their bus stop at like 7:10 or something.
Yeah.
It was 45
It's
in the morning,
changing. It is
and
changing.
I stepped out in like hoodie and a sweat and beanie. I'm like, man, this feels so nice, dude. Like, and now it's it's warming
It's
up,
fresh
but
outside.
yeah, for me it's like that weather. Like, I just love it, man. I love being to just.
I mean,
wear
I can
sweaters.
agree to that, but like...
In the snow though, I don't prefer winter weather. Like it's just more fall, because then
Okay.
the snow gets annoying really fast.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
I hate
especially too when we're
You
trying to
hate
shoot.
it?
And I think I don't really mind driving in it, and I don't mind shooting in it, but it's so much harder to shoot during winter than any other time, because sometimes the snow is just
Yeah.
like
yeah.
you
yeah.
can't really go to many
Yeah.
spots. Like, dude, trying to shoot in Verde in the
Like that
winter,
one time.
not
I
possible.
did
went to
one
Galeen.
shoot off of.
No, you go for it.
No, just off of Mount Rose, and I was in a dress, and it's always adventurous, right? But there was like so much snow, and we were just sinking like actually thigh deep into it, and I was just
Up
like
in Mount
bare
Rose,
leg.
like In the fields? Like that are originating the
Yeah,
fields?
like before the summit, off to the side.
Yeah.
Which is super pretty.
Yeah,
the mountains
those
are
fields,
incredible.
like after a while, people kind of flatten them out so you can go shoot there,
We were
but
just
you still can't
thinking,
still can't step
Yeah.
off too much.
No, this one time I was doing a shoot, and then it was a little family shoot, and the snow looked like okay, like to walk on. It felt pretty hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we stepped in it, and then I'm like, you guys go here, I'm gonna step back. And so as I'm stepping back, I just sink, and I'm like with my camera, and I'm like all the way down here. I'm like, oh shit. And I didn't want to like put my camera down, so they just kind of helped me up. I was like, yeah, this ain't it.
That's happened to me before, where you go like waist deep and you're like,
I
oh.
was like, oh shit.
I'm like, this might be a bit much. Or I mean, you can try snowshoeing, but not everyone's gonna want to do that.
What's like your biggest, for you two, like blooper moment during a shoot?
Blooper moment.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Just something that was just
I ate it so bad once, dude. Like embarrassingly bad.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Like I was shooting. It's like a very random spot. It's where the Mount Rose ski resort is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever, when you've gone up there, there's like a little shed to the right. Like this is the resort.
Oh, okay.
And then across the street, there's like these little sheds where you can go park off and stuff.
Okay.
So I randomly saw that spot one day, and someone asked for pictures up in Mount Rose. I'm like, hey, I found this one spot.
I'm trying to
think. So we were over there shooting and stuff, and there was like a little area kind of below that was just nice and flat, like almost like a vert-eye look, but in the middle of the woods. I'm like, oh, this is super nice. Like I want to shoot there. And like it was a girl and her boyfriend just kind of came like just to hang out type of thing. Like they're just like senior pictures and stuff, and I didn't really pay attention to like how steep to go down there it was
to get to the,
like I kind of just looked at it and I'm like, oh okay, and then like I stepped up, dude, I rolled, bro.
Oh no.
Like I legit rolled. Like it was like my foot just went. And then my immediate reaction was just to like tuck my camera. So picture me rolling like this.
Did you actually full on roll down the...
Yeah, I rolled for like a good
Did you hurt yourself?
No, it was just, dude, I got super dirty and like,
it's
it was
terrible if somebody, I'm like so bad at laughing.
I remember they were like,
I want them to be okay, but there's something
dude,
like I can't
they
handle
tried
it.
so hard not to laugh.
Like
I remember after I landed, I looked up at them and they were like,
oh no.
And I'm like, guys, laugh, it's fine.
You're like, it's okay, I'm okay.
Like if my client would have rolled like that, I would have probably started cracking up.
I know it's awful for some reason. It's funny, but like I try to be like, are you okay?
I rolled for like a good like 4 seconds, like just. And I'm like, I like landed with my camera like this. And I was like, bro, are you serious right now? And they're just looking at me like.
You protected the camera though.
Yeah, intuition was like, nope. I'm like, I don't care if I get smacked by a rock or something, my camera's not breaking. And they were smart and walked down really slow.
And they're like, all right,
and they're like, dude, we're so sorry we laughed. Like that was just so funny because you just
like full on movie tumble down there.
I understand. I rolled down a hill. Like I would laugh too, honestly.
I can't remember anything that happened to me.
You're thinking hard over there. I thought that
coffee
was supposed to wake you up.
You
said caffeine affects you now.
It does, but
they can't see you yawning.
He's got that Monday feel.
I do.
I saw your tea that you feel motivated today.
I'm
motivated.
What's
wrong, man?
Aw.
I don't know, dude.
Bro.
But you're still here.
I just kind of woke up and I was feeling off,
Some days are like that.
The thing is, today's Monday, right? You would think that you're refreshed. It's a new week or whatever.
Week, yeah.
Oh no.
But my weekends are just fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, you're
so
just
it's kind of like
tired,
I'm
bro.
just tired. That's
You're
the
still
thing.
trying to,
I don't want to do anything.
It just
and then,
hit you.
But then you don't think about that when you're scheduling.
Right. You don't.
And
know
you're like,
exactly.
oh, I have 2 shoots and a podcast. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
but I'm fine.
I only have like I only have 1 shoot.
But I was gonna tell you this. So this one
time,
you ever gone to Galena when it snows and then it freezes? The snow freezes and it's just like a ice skating, right? It's just like that, right? So this one time I took a family there and it was like that. It was super bad. And so we were able to kind of manage our way through, and then we did the photos. But on the way back, the guy picks up his little girl and they were walking through, and then he just slips with his little girl in his arms, right? I'm like, fuck, dude, I felt hella bad because he straight up just went back and just
Yikes.
I was like, damn, bro.
I've
They were
witnessed.
And I feel like that's kind of on me, you know, because I took them there. You know what I mean?
Oh, like you felt guilty?
I felt bad because it was my idea to take them there and stuff. So.
Well, it's
everyone was fine.
Like, have you ever tried to tell like your client like, hey, we probably shouldn't go there, but then they just kind of don't listen to you, and then when they show up they realize that we can't really step in anywhere, and I'm like, see, this is what we got to work with, is like this little spot.
I'm sure you like try to warn people, but I feel like there are people out there
like there'll be people who are like, I want to go to Galena Creek. I'm like, that's a horrible place to go to in the middle of the winter. Like, it's so covered in snow, dude.
If it snows pretty bad, I'm
like, let's go to like Colin, bro. It's pretty there in the snow, and
this other time with, like, I also went to Galena. This one time they had a truck, but it was not 4x4, right? So they're going up the hill, the one, not the park, but the other side. The first entrance.
Yeah.
So they're going up the hill, but the road again fucking froze. And so they're going up, and then they stop, and then eventually they just go back.
Oh no!
Oh crap! Like the truck just didn't have enough wine.
And like hella cars around. I was like,
oh my god, dude! I got stuck after a shoot once at Donner Lake, and I felt so dumb.
Oh yeah, I've gotten stuck before.
You know at Donner where the wooded area is, how you pull off to the side, like before you get into the lake, like the little wooded area. So I went with these girls from Truckee who wanted photos out there, but they were in like a big Jeep, you know, like I'm sure in Truckee you gotta drive like that during the winter. And this is when I still had my little Hyundai Elantra, I remember, and apparently it had snowed the night before, so the dirt was just ice under the snow, but you don't see it, you know, you just see snow. So I parked all the way in. I'm like, oh, I'm chilling, dude, it's just snow, like my car will, you know, it's front wheel drive, I'll get it out. And they parked next to me, we go shoot, whatever. I get in my car and I'm like, you know, replying to some messages, and they head out. And as soon as I try to like reverse, and I just heard, I was like, oh crap, bro, I'm screwed. And I managed to like turn it this way, you know what I mean? So that if I just drove forward, it would go onto the road. Dude, they would not move. Like my tires would not move. I was just like shooting snow out of the tires,
and they had already left too,
they had already left
there, like, well,
and then this couple like parks, and they're like, do you want us to like help you push it, like, you know, to get it going? I'm like, I mean, yeah, please, thank you. It just didn't do anything. Like, it was just stuck. And thankfully this lady with this like big ass truck comes up, and she's like, are you stuck? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I got a hook, do you want me to yank you out? I'm like, oh my god, please, dude. She just
oh wow!
In like 3 seconds, she put me back on the road, and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much!" Because I had to come back over here for a shoot, and I'm like, "Dude, by the time I get unstuck or like call like a tow truck or something like that,
like, come help you."
And I remember texting the couple, I'm like, "Guys, I'm gonna be like 15 minutes late because I got stuck in Truckee," and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Like,
I also hate that about the winter.
You get stuck. I mean, I'm chilling now.
Driving slow.
I think I'll be okay this winter. I have an SUV, so I'll be fine.
That happened to me one time, and I'm over here fucking sticking a fucking, you know, a piece of wood under the fucking
like
tire.
The plywood.
I got a pregnant chick with me in the car, and I'm over there. I'm like trying to accelerate, right? And I'm with my other foot, I'm like shaking the car to see if it goes, man.
Oh
my god.
But
yeah, winter do be doing that.
It's adventurous.
Stuff.
You gotta have experiences,
really
you know?
Yeah.
It's a fun job.
They're
fun job to have.
Lots of experiences.
I agree.
Good.
All right. Well, I think we're getting close to wrapping up.
Cool. One last question, Tatum.
Yes.
Got any short-term goals for the year as based as like on what you do or just in general?
Short-term goals. I don't know, you guys. I feel like I'm really more of a like just
day by day
trying to figure things out kind of as I go, whether it's work or
it's not a bad thing.
No,
modeling or any of that. So I'm just gonna kind of try to keep doing stuff and see where it leads me. That's
there you go.
my plan. That's my goal.
Yeah, good
I
answer.
wish I could be like that.
I mean, it's not always that glamorous. It's not as glamorous as it sounds. But hey.
I sometimes plan like way too ahead of time. And I'm
sometimes, and it just you get overwhelmed for no reason too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, were you just thinking about the future when it, you know, you're not even living in the present because you're just thinking about what's gonna happen?
I mean, he's talking facts.
Kind of I mean, this stuff too, though, it's a lot. Like you guys, I mean, I think you had talked about in a different episode. Just, I mean, you're kind of always doing stuff for it, right? Whether it's scheduling or editing or, you know,
Yeah.
setting up something or location scouting or actually shooting. There's sort of like always things you can be doing or always things you can be planning. So it can be hard to just like.
No, I agree.
Lately, I've been struggling with like making the contracts for weddings, getting back to people with quotes, scheduling. I did this whole month. Last month, I did it all myself, and then trying to get the website set up again, and fucking, you know, having a life. Trying to have
it's a
life.
lot, man.
Even
it's
just like
it's just we're in busy season too. It doesn't help.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I try to remind myself.
It's not always like
it's
this.
not always like that. It's just
No.
you just gotta get through this little hump, and then you'll be fine.
Yep.
even just like Instagram, I feel like it's intense.
Making a post, which takes forever.
I think it's cool you guys are doing this too, because you had said in the intro one just that like we all see each other on there and like see each other's work, but you don't always get to actually know somebody's personality or more about them. So that's super cool. But yeah, it's
like people are always like, "Oh, you're killing it," but then like today, you know, I felt like shit all day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
just, as long as people know, then you might normalize it a little more. And
yeah. It's real life.
Yeah.
All here. Yep.
Well,
all of it is part of it for
trying
sure.
to keep up.
We're out here just doing our best.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, well, again, thank you for coming.
Oh, did
Thank
you
you
plug yourself in,
guys.
Tatum?
I don't
Did
think
I
you
what?
did.
Did you plug yourself in?
Your Instagram.
In IG
That's
and all
what
that?
it means.
Where can people find
no,
you?
I didn't.
Yeah, we can't forget that.
Okay, guys. Tatum_Libert, which is Libert, like Liberty without the Y. Just my name, peeps. Just my name.
There you go.
There you go.
Cool.
All right, well, hit her up if you're a photographer.
Let's do it.
Hit her up, but
Woo.
you might, you know.
These guys are awesome.
You might have
too.
to pay
Hit them
for it.
up,
That's
guys.
what I'm trying to say. I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But
Shah was
yeah.
like, I am paying for it.
No, thank you for coming.
No, he's not.
Thank you for
cool.
giving us your time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you
guys.
for coming.
You guys are
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
It was
Thank you.
super fun.
All right, guys. Till next
See you in the
time.
next one.
Peace out.
Adios. Speak Spanish.